It's the story that shocked the nation. Last August, 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Korbel was fatally shot by Thomas Cashman as he chased a fellow drug dealer into their home in Liverpool.
So Cashman's now been sentenced to life in prison, minimum term of 42 years. But whilst Olivia's family were forced to endure a gruelling 4-week trial, her killer refused to appear at Manchester Crown Court for his sentencing.
As Olivia's mum, Cheryl, now calls for change in the law to force criminals to face their victims' families. She's joined us alongside her cousin, Antonia Alverson. Good morning to both of you.
Cheryl,
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. So, Cheryl, let's start with you. I mean, it's almost been a year. You just taking it day by day?
Yeah, try and keep busy. Yeah, well, try and have more good days than we do bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed, I got the T-shirt and seeing your daughter, she was absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And you must have been through so much of a hell, really, in this last year. Tell us about this Face the Family campaign.
It was originally set up by Sophie Merrick with Radio City. And we were invited to a summit 3 months after it started. I wasn't too sure what it was all about, so I went along, and it's trying to get a change in the law to try and get offenders up into the dock and face the families.
Because it does help with the healing, doesn't it? Something like that to hear, for them to actually hear the impact of what they've actually done would make a massive difference to your healing, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, I realised it made a massive difference to me when I was actually doing the impact statement. It helped me because, as I said, like everything was kept in a jar with a tittering lid. So doing that impact statement, it brought everything out. So it's a form of healing.
I mean, I guess even putting that impact statement together and writing it yourself and, you know, leaning on your friends and family and your support officer and so forth, that must have been itself, that process must have been, I don't know, maybe not cathartic, but
it was really hard.
Put it down into paper must have been so difficult, and yet, like you said, necessary, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a long process. It wasn't done in a couple of hours or in a day. It was numerous days, over weeks.
Did you know when you were going to court, Cashman was being sentenced, when did you find out that he wasn't going to be there?
The day we got there.
That day,
yeah.
And did that bother you particularly?
It did, because we'd gone through the whole trial listening to Cashman.
Yeah.
We didn't have a voice all the way through. So the sentence and the impact statements, that was our turn, that was our voices, but we never got it.
I think the strangest thing, the whole of us as a team, when we sat down and we looked at this story yesterday, most of us were surprised that he could opt out of turning up for... Like, we didn't really know that was an option.
Didn't even know they had a choice?
No, we didn't know they had a choice either. No.
Have you had much support from anybody? I know the auntie of Zara Alina was tragically murdered by Jordan McSweeney. She's campaigning for exactly the same thing as well. Have you spoken to her at all?
I briefly spoke to her at the summit. She was on video. I was also met Lisa Squires, Libby Squires' mum, at the summit. So
what specifically is it that you'd like to see changed? Do you think it genuinely is just... I was about to say defendants, but people who are found guilty not to be an option for them to have to be there for their own sentencing?
Yeah, they should be there. If it's not in the dock, maybe other alternatives of the room that they're in downstairs.
Yeah.
They should be listening to it. As we've said, prison, it's supposed to be a form of rehabilitation, and that first step should be at the sentencing, listening to the families.
That's such a good way of, because I'm thinking, what would you go from it? You're absolutely right. If it is a form of rehabilitation, that surely has got to be the first base step of someone going, because, you know, I was reading that if they refuse to turn up for their own sentencing, they can withhold certain things in prison, can't they? But I mean, that doesn't mean that has no impact on you, does it, on a day-to-day basis? But if you are genuinely remorseful, the first step should surely be to front up to that.
Yeah.
We know that there are TVs in prisons, so Cashman could be watching this right now. If you could say anything to him right now, what would you say?
The reason of why he never came up. But I think we all know that he's a coward.
What's been the impact on this, on your cousin, Antonia?
It's destroyed a family. It's a life sentence that we live every day and will continue to live every day. To go through that trial, like Cheryl said, for that trial to be based around him and his evidence and his story. When it comes to the fact of the family being able to speak out, he denied the family of that. He had a complete and utter disregard for what he's put our family through and continue to keep putting our family through. Cheryl's words were right. Our life sentence has only just begun.
Yeah.
So true.
And we will continue to keep fighting this campaign because we don't want another family to have to go through what we've gone through.
What are the next stages for you for the campaign? Like
Get them signatures.
I was going to say, whereabouts is it at the moment? Is it living like as in it's a petition at the moment?
It is.
Yeah, it's an online petition. When I went to the summit, we come away. The idea was originally from my best friend, Gemma. She said it'd be a good idea to go out with leaflets and stuff. So it was like, yeah, OK. So we got leaflets together and we went out to Liverpool.
That's
and
amazing.
The numbers started going up.
Well, there's 13,000 signatures at the moment.
Yeah.
So if people want to sign it, where should they go? Did they just Google Face the Family?
Yeah. It's the online petition of Face the Family.
It's only running because it was originally set up on the 4th of April.
Yeah.
That obviously was unbeknown to us as a family at that point. It only runs for 6 months, so we really do need this support, sooner rather than later, because it expires on the 14th of October.
Yeah.
OK.
The online petition, so...
I was actually reading in the Daily Mail that Rishi Sunak had actually kind of backtracked on this. How do you feel about that?
He needs to go back again.
Do you have much support politically, local MPs and so forth?
Local MPs, local councils.
Yeah, he backs it.
OK. Well, last Wednesday, Cashman lost his appeal to have his life sentence reduced. I mean, it's scant consolation, of course, isn't it? But that must be something.
Yeah, it was a relief.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe that he'd actually put in for an appeal on his sentence that he couldn't turn up for.
And listen, this little lady, of course, is going to live on. Her legacy is going to live on, and part of that is the memorial garden in her memory. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, it's up in Courtay Park. They are friends from school have been designing the outlay, planting little seeds coming into flowers. We've got a big butterfly on the back of the wall, mosaic butterfly.
I bet Olivia would have loved it.
Yeah, she would have, but she would have loved it. And the fact that she was getting out of school.
Oh, bless.
How are her friends doing? Because
they seem to be doing OK. And as for the memorial garden, it's helping them.
giving them a focus.
Yeah.
What about you, Mum? How are you?
Not too bad. We have bad days, but we pick each other up, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like you've got a really strong family.
Yeah, we have.
Keep
and
the fire
really
burning,
good friends.
And a really big team when we go out with them leaflets.
Oh, amazing. Well, you've got 2 more signatures.
Yeah, and best of luck with
Here.
it. OK.
Thank
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.